This episode is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform for building a cool-looking and professional website. In my hunt for dream homes across Italy, I sometimes come across cities which are true hidden gems. And that is the case today. We're exploring Spoleto, Umbria. Once the capital city of its own sovereign state, it has a character all its own.
Porchetta, salsicce, prosciutto, salami e quanto.
I'm going out of my way to try its best cuisine.
The presentation is out of this world.
Which has a strong emphasis on pasta, fresh truffle, and hearty meat dishes. And then I'm touring the best 3 dream homes for sale I could find, at 3 different prices, both inside the city walls and outside. Andiamo. Buongiorno guys, I have the pleasure of bringing you to a town which we haven't yet seen on the channel in the south of Umbria, one of the most important towns in Italian history which perhaps you have not heard of. I'm speaking of Spoleto, a beautiful city which is full of interesting architecture, wonderful culinary traditions, and views which are to die for. I found 3 dream homes here, all at different price ranges with different characteristics, which I'm excited to share with you as well. Let's go explore Spoleto. The scenic Spoleto rises on a hill on the southernmost stretch of the Umbrian Valley. It is a town of 35,000 inhabitants and a treasure mine of history and beauty. My first stop in town brings me under the Arch of Druso and Germanico, erected in 23 AD as a triumphal arch into the ancient Forum, a hint at Spoleto's ancient splendor and importance during the Roman Republic and beyond. The Forum is now a square, known as Piazza del Mercato. In addition to being the location of the market, it is flanked by numerous restaurants and street food vendors, the reason I came here. However, it also has its own monumental flair, the Fonte di Piazza, marking the city's heart. It was built in 1746 when the city was within the Papal State. It's in travertine stone with a clock to tell the hours. And if you look hard enough, you can even spot Just Dream Italy's new Instagram page, where I post extra content and homes. But you don't have to be in Spoleto to check that out. So we're in the Piazza del Mercato, and of course being in a market square you have lots of food and some street food. And this is a street vendor of the most typical type of Umbrian food that you can get, la porchetta, which is a type of pork meat as you'd expect. Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
Allora, che cosa abbiamo qui?
Qui abbiamo una bella porchetta, produzione propria, si caratterizza per la speziatura. Ogni famiglia ha la sua concia e il suo metodo di cottura. La peculiarità di una buona porchetta è che deve essere croccante e morbida. Io non sono un venditore di porchetta, sono un porchettaio.
Ecco.
Produco ciò che vendo. Sono qui da 48 anni io personalmente, prima di me c'era mio babbo, mio nonno, e ho fatto questo lavoro con tanta passione, tanto amore e tanto impegno.
Allora, prendo un panino.
Bene.
Provo.
Mettiamo nulla di sale.
Mettiamo, sì.
Vediamo un sacchetto.
Ah no, lo mangio qui magari al volo.
Bene.
Faccio vedere agli spettatori.
Ecco.
Grazie mille. All right, so we have this beautiful porchetta sandwich, and you can see the bread. This is a very typical bread, kind of a rose shape, which you get everywhere in Italy. It's always crunchy on the outside and soft and chewy on the inside. And we have this beautiful meat, and you can see there's the difference between the soft, fatty meat layers and the actual crunchy skin on top. So this is what a porchetta sandwich is all about. Let's try it out. So the first impression is the fat of the porchetta is almost like a sauce. So very, very creamy. You have a little bit of meat in there, and that difference of texture with the crunch just makes it a wonderful sandwich. You don't have to put any cream, any condiments on this sandwich. Just the pepper and seasoning of the actual meat makes it a full palate for your taste buds here. Really, really good, guys.
Buonissimo.
A sandwich just works when the sum of its ingredients come together to create that satisfactory sensory experience. Funny as it sounds, a quality website works the same. Let me explain. With Squarespace, the sponsor of today's video, anybody can build a beautifully functional website as if you were a chef constructing a culinary masterpiece. Here's a quick taste. To get started, you can either manually choose one of their gorgeous templates or let Squarespace's state-of-the-art Blueprint AI design it for you. You follow the prompts, like saying what your website is about, what sections to add, and what functions you need, and Squarespace will generate the most appropriate result. It's as if you're a master chef, but for building websites. There are other touches to personalize the result, like choosing a color palette and the perfect font style to match your brand. With their drag and drop technology, you can add your own text and photos, or even use some of their beautiful stock images. So head to squarespace.com/JustDreamItaly for a 14-day free trial, and when you're ready to go live, use my code JustDreamItaly to get 10% off the first purchase of your domain or website. Spoleto, due to its picturesque qualities, has been the backdrop to many an Italian film and television series. And where I'm taking you next is in large part responsible for that. This square and basilica are Spoleto's calling card. Man, this is what Italy is all about. Beautiful churches, beautiful monuments, and romantic locations. This is one of the top cathedrals, not even in all of Umbria, I'd say in all of Italy. It's just so iconic. It has appeared in so many television series, so many films, just because of how romantic this ambiance is. You have this beautiful piazza, romantic Gothic facade with mosaics, all overlooked by green hills and a fortress. This is really Italy at its finest, tourist-free and as local as it gets. The Duomo, or Cathedral of the Assumption, was constructed in the 12th century with its characteristic bell tower and mosaic completed in the 13th century. Its interior had a complete remodel in the 1600s in a Baroque style, which was all the rage back then. One of the highlights is the series of frescoes with scenes of the New Testament on the presbytery. Another highlight is the Chapel of the Most Holy Sacrament, completed in 1632. This chapel is very impressive. It is a true Baroque masterpiece with frescoes, statues, and architectural details completed by some of the greatest local artists of that period. Stepping inside, having that beautiful space for yourself, even if just for a few minutes, really transports you back in time. But like I mentioned, Spoleto's monuments reflect its importance throughout history, and nothing better represents this fact than the castle overlooking the city. This imposing fortress has been Spoleto's guardian since it was built by Pope Innocent VI in 1367. And below it, we have the aqueduct whose foundations most likely date back, once again, to ancient Rome. So Spoleto is a very old city. In Roman times, the name was Spoletium, and apparently the name derives from Greek, spau lithium, which means the detached stone, presumably because it seems like the promontory that Spoleto was built on fell from the main mountain behind it, so it detached and fell off, and they built a city on top of it. I'm on my way now to the restaurant we've chosen for lunch, going down these really cute alleyways with these arches, and it's supposed to be one of the best restaurants in the center of Spoleto with a garden terrace, and I can see it now. It is restaurant Sabatini, very elegant in this old palazzo. The menu is supposed to be very traditional Umbrian cuisine, but with an elegant twist. Let's try it out.
Allora, eccoci qua. Questo è il nostro tortino soffice di zucchine con sopra burrata di stracciatella di bufala e tartufo fresco di stagione.
So they brought out the appetizer here. These are 3 little cakes of zucchini courgette with burrata and some truffle, and the presentation is absolutely an artwork. It looks like a galaxy with 3 different planets. Looks beautiful. Let's see if it tastes as good as it looks. It's with a bit of egg, zucchini. It's salty, and it's also warmed in the middle. There's the contrast, therefore, of the creaminess and coolness of the burrata cheese with the warmth of the tortino, the mini cake, let's call it. And truffle, as always, just adds that bit of intensity.
Eccoci qua, questo è il nostro poker di pasta ripiena composto da una caramella con radicchio e scamorza, un agnolotto con ragù d'anatra, un raviolo con ragù di cinghiale e un tortello ripieno di carne chianina, tutti saltati alla fine con tartufo fresco di stagione.
So this is a poker of different types of pasta. Poker because in poker you have 4 suits, right? When you're playing with a deck of cards, and these are the 4 suits of stuffed pasta. So he explains it better than I ever could. But let me tell you, the scent of truffle is very intense, and it just looks, the presentation is out of this world. Let's try it out. Very delicious. My favorite out of the 4, I must say, was the caramella.
Allora vi spiego cosa abbiamo nel piatto. Questa è una guancia di manzo brassata e cotta a bassa temperatura per circa 18 ore con una salsa alle amarene fatta da noi e del purè di patate aromatizzato con lo zafferano. Prego, buon proseguimento.
Grazie. Once again, they've been going out of their way to serve fantastic looking plates. In addition to everything tasting so well, the presentation is top notch here. How is it cooked? It is still very saucy. Really good. This is one of the best dishes of meat that I've eaten in a long time. Let me try some of these potatoes. If you've had risotto allo zafferano, these are mashed potatoes that have the flavor of saffron risotto. This is really interesting.
Con la nostra crescionda tipica spoletina, con gelato ad accompagnare cioccolato e rum, un crumble agli amaretti e la nostra crescionda è fatta a base di amaretti, biscotti secchi, cioccolato a scaglie e sciolto in 2 consistenze per fare in modo che si stratifichi, poi quando la apre noterà all'interno, e un liquore all'arancia profumato.
So this is the typical sweet, the typical dessert of Spoleto. They told me that it's actually more typical that you eat it around the period of Carnevale, but since we're here and it's typical, we're gonna try it also in June. Chocolate rum, great combination, wow. So guys, if you come to Spoleto, check out Ristorante Sabatini right on the Corso. Really good food, great presentation of that food. Finishing off this feast with a cafe, and then we'll see some dream homes for sale. We've made it to the first home that we're seeing today. We're right outside the historic center of Spoleto. Although this isn't the historical center, it is still a very historical neighborhood. These walls you can see made in stone and brick by hand with a dating at the top of this wall. It says 1690. So really old walls and a really old feeling, very typical, very cute, I must say, neighborhood. Up behind me, walking this way, we're right under the Rocca of Spoleto, so the defensive castle, and obviously the aqueduct going down and bringing water into the city since Roman times. And so this is in a bit of a Goldilocks zone, I would call it, of the city. A lot of people ask for a property which isn't in the center of town, but at the same time is reachable to the center of town by foot. Here you can walk up and in 5 minutes you're in the Centro Storico, but at the same time you have this peace and tranquility of this very old medieval neighborhood. Just walking down these streets, you can already see there's a chapel here on this side. This is a convent, and still a convent, just a very cute space. And the property is right here behind me. It has a private entrance. And just let me kind of show you from here the surroundings. And so we have the convent on this side, we have the neighbor's home on this side, and walking up this way, we have this picturesque, just really beautiful alleyway. This home itself is amazing. So the neighbor's home is also amazing with the Madonna and Child here on the side, this beautiful wooden balcony. It reminds me of Romeo and Juliet. And from here I can see the top of the chapel of the convent. So we're in this really idyllic postcard-esque location for the first property. And the first property is a pied-à-terre, but a very big one. So in terms of space, characteristics of the home, we'll start with that. 85 square meters of home, but it comes with a private entrance, a private driveway. So you have this door, which will be careful not to close all the way. Open the doors. You can see everything has been renovated very recently and with very high quality materials. And you can see that immediately from the thickness of these wooden doors. So we walk in, 85 square meters on the inside. I was saying the asking price is 145,000 euros. It comes with this private driveway, private entrance, and a garden around the corner too. So you're on the ground floor of this building here. Now that we've turned the corner, you can see walking in, so this is all yours. This is all this private pathway, outdoor space, which has illumination on the ground walking up. So during the night, you can light things up, and you turn the corner here, and we have your own private garden. So that was the main entrance, but you also have a garden with some trees. This here is a nice to have as well, a sink, and it's a sink made with cotto, so it's something that you would normally put like on the floor. They've made a sink out of it. It's also very beautiful, very idyllic, and it's all in very good shape. So let me bring you all the way down. We have the tigli, which are in bloom now at the moment in Spoleto, so you can't smell the early summer, but I can, and luckily my allergies aren't acting up like they were in Castiglione del Lago. But you can see it's a garden that goes all the way here in the back. I can look up, I can see this beautiful architecture of other homes around me, and just these trees with lots of green kind of covering you, giving you shade depending on the time of day, and just I must say a really beautiful atmosphere, right? So it's rustic, but it's also very Italian, medieval kind of urban feel at the same time. So I'll bring you back this way, and I want to show you the inside of the home because I think it's very special, and it's at a great price for the characteristics that you'll get in it. So let's go inside. Okay, so we enter into the property, and the first thing you notice is just how spacious it is, how big it is. These are 6-meter tall ceilings in beams, in wood, and it's all relatively new, or at least very recently renovated. We have cotto floors in this space, and so this is the main living space of the property. It's where we have the kitchen, it's where we have the living room, and the centerpiece of it all is this wonderful fireplace, a very Tuscan style fireplace with the wooden beam going across the top, the framing with brick here, and kind of a brick platform here in the front, and just a very rustic, very beautiful feel that it adds to the atmosphere of the home, for sure. You walk under this arch, this really beautiful arch, and it brings you into the kitchen dining room area. Now I think that the space just presents so well because even though it's a historical space, it's been renovated in such a great style, which is really the way a renovation should be done, let's say. So you have kind of like a country style cabinets in the kitchen, and even like the sink is white, the stove top is white, and just blends in with all the surfaces of it. So just a beautifully done kitchen in a beautifully done area. The wonderful thing about this space is we're all the way down here to the back, but on that side of the building is where we have a huge window. We have those huge doors letting in lots of light. So we have plenty of light coming in this way. On this side is where we have the heating. We have this beautiful little ledge going across with this nice wood, giving it another touch. And walking up the stairs, obviously we have this wrought iron, which is always part of the, let's call it a Tuscan Umbrian element. And it brings us back into the bedroom. So this is another very big space. Here the ceilings are rounded, so these big arched in old brick. We have a revealed stone on the back wall. And here behind me is an old Etruscan well. And you can actually hear kind of the water flowing. You don't need any white noise when you go to bed. It's nothing too strong, but it's just a beautiful touch that they've made here that you can look through and see some of the well going all the way down with some of the revealed stone here. We'll bring you back this way because we have, this is where you put your laundry. So you have the little space here for the washing machine, drying machine. And this is really cute. This is the shower, and it's a very big shower. You can stay here in the middle. We have the revealed stone up here. And the shower has a double entryway. So you have a door which closes, and you're stuck in the shower. And you open it up this way, and it brings you into the bathroom here. So bathrooms on this wall, toilet, bidet, sink, a heating element here, and you can walk back up the stairs. And where does it bring you? To none other than the bedroom. So it brings us back into the bedroom, and I'll show you then just another view walking this way through the property. So this is where you have the revealed stone. Of course, we have a very big window letting in plenty of light here. It's towards the end of the day, so it's not too bright, but still very comfy, very cozy. And because we're on the ground floor, the temperature is very amenable, even though it's in the summer. You don't need AC in here at all. It's very comfortable. You feel immediately the difference from walking in here and walking outside. So this is house number one. Really beautiful. Great deal if you want a pied-à-terre in this style with a little garden. Let's go see house number two. Okay, so for this next home, we are in the historical center of Spoleto in this beautiful piazzetta under the clock tower and around the corner of Piazza del Mercato. The building that we're in is this one right behind me, and it's just this very peaceful, very beautiful ambiance of the city of Spoleto. You can hear the bells ringing, and this home is very special. So first, you come down the stairs. You can already see the main doorway this way. And that balcony up top is belonging to the apartment that we're going to be seeing. So it's in this historical building. It's a very historical structure, but it's been renovated to a very high degree of quality, let's say. So quality materials have been used, and it's done in such a way that I was impressed in my first viewing. I'm going to show it to you now. Asking price is 540,000 euros. Of course, there's always negotiability here in Italy, but 540,000, 180 square meters of living space. There's also a deposit downstairs of 200 square meters. It's huge, and it goes under Piazza del Mercato, so under the Porchettaro where we had our sandwich. That's where your basement is, and it's Roman ruins. So you see the walls, there's bricks along the walls. Those were laid during the Roman Empire days under the old Spoletum, right, in the old Spoleto city. So this is a building with history, and that downstairs is of exclusive property, right? So this is the main entrance. Let's come on in. To go downstairs to your exclusive 2,000-year-old basement, you go down this way. We're not going to go down there, though. I'm going to bring you up the steps into the apartment. So you'll see throughout the property, the main stone used is travertine. So you have travertine all throughout the stairs and wooden floors. So that's what the floors are made of, and of course we have the ceilings to talk about. So you come on in, you have this entryway, and you have this living room. This isn't the main living room. This is, you enter in from a long day of work, and you say, I'm very tired, I don't want to walk up the stairs. Let me just throw myself down on the couch and chill out and watch some TV for 30 minutes before I go upstairs. This is what this space is. And it's a beautiful space because you have these vaulted ceilings. These are medieval vaults, or at least 400, 500-year-old vaults with the semicircle, almost Gothic arch going across. So beautiful space. I always love seeing spaces like this. And there's an interior design kind of twist to all of the rooms. So you can already see here, we have the stone plaques here coming over the fireplace with pieces of art all throughout. Also, the illumination is all very unique. It has character, and I think it fits. They've done a very tasteful job with the renovation. And you can also buy the property at least furnished somewhat. So some of the furniture can remain. We'll come up these beautiful travertine steps. And it brings you to this level. We have this beautiful arch of brick, this architectural element, a structural element, of course, going across this side and this side of the building. And it brings us out here to the balcony. So this is the balcony that we saw from the other side there. And you can come out and in a moment like this where the sun isn't too high, you have this really nice breeze, people are coming out for their walks. This is just a quality of life element that you have in the home. So beautiful, guys. This is a spectacular property that we have here in Spoleto. And now we can go up the steps again. So you've already had 2 pauses on your way up to your home, even though you're in the first floor. One in your living room, one in your balcony, and you said, okay, it's finally, I'm ready to make it into my home. So this is the way you come up. Let's see, from here you can kind of choose your direction. Let me start with the kitchen, which is something that I liked a lot. So you come in here, travertine turns into wooden floors, parquet floors. And it brings you into this gorgeous kitchen. Look at this table, this really beautiful glass table with the 2 elements of illumination coming down. This is the original beam, hundreds and hundreds of years old. So one solid beam which was sanded, which was retouched and refurbished during the renovation. And of course, wooden beams used above that to provide a further ceiling. And here we have a completely modernized kitchen. So these beautiful black granite countertops, which end with the sink going down under it, which is always nice when you're trying to clean. Of course, it's just beautiful faucets, a beautiful induction oven here. It's actually very unique to have an island or a peninsula even in Italy. And so when you do have a space like this, you really appreciate it. Here you have the different towers of, the stove, the microwave, inbuilt fridge. So this is a fully modernized kitchen in a 500, 600-year-old property. I did want to show you the views, though, in this kitchen. So this is the view out onto Piazza del Mercato. So have a look out. This is the view from your kitchen. Just something extremely pleasant. Looking out onto the fountain of Spoleto, looking at the people enjoying their aperitivo. It's aperitivo hour. And so that's just another quality of life element that we have here. So special. Turn the corner now, and that brings us into bedroom number 1. Beautiful bedroom, very spacious. Here we have a window kind of looking out onto a back street. The ceiling is the same. And plenty of space, even like on the entryway, to have your cupboards, cabinets. Let me show you bedroom number 2. So you walk up the stairs. If you wanted to go directly into this bedroom, you can. And so this is currently used as like a children's bedroom, which is perfect. You have a double exposition. We're at the corner of the home. And so you have the window into the alleyway there. But then this is the other door out onto the balcony that we were just on. Or rather, we're actually 1 floor up. So come on out. Let me show you the 1 floor up. So this is the first floor and the second floor and the basement. Spectacular. So this is the piazza that we came from before, which is very nice. And so this is a bedroom with a balcony. So these are some unique elements that you get in these historical homes, right? They end up being organic spaces. They're never sterile, right? When you're in a home which is very modern, they're very boxy, they're very rational, and so you say 3 bedrooms on one side, kitchen, living room on the other side. In a space like this, in a medieval, not even medieval, 2,000, 3,000-year-old cities with structures, with bases and foundations which are so old, the walls are organic. There's not a straight wall in the whole home, and so you're surprised at every turn. You know, where am I going to turn into next? And you just see how beautiful spaces unfold. So this is the bathroom. Beautiful rectangular shower basin here. Big large sink, nice walls. Come down here. Then we have bedroom number 3. So before you walk in, this is probably the biggest bedroom. And here you have an extra space. So this opens up by pushing it in. And this is where you have washer dryer. So that's very nice. You have a ladder which you can attach to have access up there. And then you come in to the bedroom. And so here we have these beautiful high ceilings once again. This is a window onto that same balcony that we were just on that other bedroom. And this room is a suite. So, you know, you have your bed, you have your TV here, but you also have your full bathroom. So very big shower, a very big sink. These bathrooms don't have bidets. And so because during the renovation, they decided they didn't want bidets, you actually have more space freed up for like an extended cabinet or larger basins to clean your hands. And so we'll come back out this way here. And I believe I've showed you everything, guys. So this is home number 2. Let's go see home number 3. So we've made it to the next home. So with all these homes, let me give you a little background of the philosophy of the choices that I make when presenting homes on this channel. I always try to combine elements of Italian characteristics across different price ranges, trying to find homes that have unique characteristics. And the home that I found here is very, very unique. Let's start off by the location. We are in what's called a Goldilocks zone. I don't know if I've coined that or if it's rubbed off on me and somebody else kind of insinuated it. But essentially, we are in that area right outside of a historical center where you can walk to the historical center, but you're on a countryside in your own country home. So it's as if you're out in the fields. It's out, you have your own rustic home, but in 15 minutes walk, you can walk right up this private road, which is your own. You turn the corner and you can go right to Piazza Garibaldi in 800 meters, and then right up to the cathedral and everything else. We'll start off with parking spaces. So you have all of these parking spaces, and you'd ask, well, why do I need parking spaces? Well, because the property that we're seeing is actually an agriturismo. So it's set up as a receptive structure with 6 different units, which are rented out. And what's very characteristic about the home is, first of all, the exterior. So we have a beautiful exterior in stone. The actual structure is from the 1600s. But it was renovated just 15 years ago, including all of the windows, the heating, the air conditioning. So it's all relatively modern, but with a historical appearance. So this is the external part. I'm going to show you first all of this external area, which I think is breathtaking, and then we're going to go on the inside. So come on down the stairs, and I'll tell you about some of the characteristics of the listing, let's say. So start off with the asking price. The asking price is 900,000 euros. We have around 420 square meters of space on the inside, but about 4,000 square meters of space in the terrain including this big terrace space right here. So we have various levels. We're on this hill, we're on this slope with this beautiful view looking out onto the hills around Spoleto. The historical center is up that way. And looking out here, you have views all the way down to Assisi on a clear day. And then beyond that, even a small glimpse of Perugia if you look well enough. But on this level, we have the main structure where we have 4 different units. So 2 units, and then two units upstairs, so 4 units there. And then we have an annex. So that's the historical property. And down here is the annex, which was built a bit later. We'll go inside these afterwards, but first let me show you the outside. So you can see coming all the way down, like the masonry, the stone, the bricks, even the gardening. It's all very, very nice. Lots of different bushes. We have these tea plants, so these really nice odors of the early summer, which is excellent. Rosemary plants, some sage plants, some laurel, and so very aromatic out here. And I'll show you first over here. So this is the annex space. We'll go in here after, but we have this nice little garden. And so if you're renting out the property to guests, they have this very pleasant space where they can come out, they can relax, they can get some sun. And under here, you have this nice terrace with this tented area. You're protected from the sun, which can get pretty hot during the summer, but you have this really nice view which you can already see the pool below, palm trees around the property. You have these cotto brick floors on the terraces, and it's just really idyllic. I can hear the birds chirping, I can smell the aromas of flowers, and you look and you see olive groves, you see trees, rolling hills, and just the beauty of southern Umbria. Come down this way. First, let me show you the pool. So you walk in and it's thought out very well. So you go into this space, you turn on the shower. Not going to turn it on now because I'm not going for a swim, but you clean yourself off and then you can jump into the pool. Normally, I would walk all the way down to this side of the pool and kind of show you from here, but it's not worth it because it's what's called an infinity pool. So it's a piscina a sfioro, it's called in Italian, where the water just ends and drops off. And so when you're actually inside of the pool, you have this sensation of the water connecting with the countryside behind you with these views. So you become one with the views while you're swimming in the pool. It's a very large pool as well. And it's deep enough where you can actually swim laps if that's what you're into. Swim laps and really just enjoy it. There on the other side, you have the stairs going down to the technical area, obviously for the maintenance of the pool. You have more relaxation spaces here along this wall. And so this nice semi-arch with the beautiful straw ceilings blocking out the sun here. I also like the decoration, terracotta vases. And you come down this way, beautifully done, brick paths, all of the tubes going around, obviously keeping the plants and the lawn watered. And here we have a 6-person jacuzzi, right? So even this is very special. Jacuzzi, pool, big aloe vera plant. And here you're just even closer to the fields below. Just spectacular. So much peace out here. We'll go back this way because our leisure area outside in this garden isn't finished yet. Oops, I gotta watch out for the palm trees here. We'll come back this way. You can already see beautiful views up onto the home there above. Very rustic, very Umbrian. And so obviously it is set up as an agriturismo. You have 6 different units. Each of the units of the home has its own kitchen, 2 bedrooms, and I'll show you more about that. But there's also the possibility, if you want to turn it into one big home with a separate dependance, you can also do that. So, but we'll get into that. Walking under your own olive tree, around the corner you have other angles, other nooks of relaxation here. And you can even get lost here in this maze. I don't even know where I'm going at this point. There we go, some more cots. And I've made it to my destination. What I wanted to show you was this other pool. Now this is a pool, it's currently not being used as an agriturismo because they put it up for sale, but if they were, you have cascades coming down, kind of waterfalls. It's a waterfall pool here with temperature, variable temperature water coming down, so you can make it a cold pool, you can make it a warm pool, but with the visual effect of the cascades coming down the walls from this side and that side just makes it a very impressive element as well. So you have jacuzzis, you have showers, you have an infinity pool, you have a cascade bubbly pool here on this side. So it's just all very complete with lots of areas for relaxation. So really just you know, a spectacular property for someone who, actually let's go around this way, for somebody who wants to own their own agriturismo. Let's say you can rent it out. If you wanted to, you can turn one of the spaces into your own living space and then rent out the other units. So there's also that possibility. This brings you to more of like a picnic area. So this is great if you have like groups in the morning for like breakfast or like evening meals, or like a cocktail hour. Everybody can come out here. You can even set up maybe like a bar or like a grilling station up there. Just lots of possibilities here, even for events. So I think this is a really compelling property. You even have apricots. So a fruit tree, an apricot tree. Yeah, these are, look at this, guys. These are actually apricots, and I think they're actually in season. That's a good apricot. Let's go up this way. This, I believe, is a cherry tree, but the cherries aren't ready yet. And so, you keep on walking up here and I'll begin the tour of the actual insides of the building. So from here we actually have a good view of the actual structure. So you can see the stone facade. Some of the properties have balconies, whereas others go right out onto the terrace. They're all numbered. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6 on the downstairs. So 6 different units. We're gonna start with number 1, then go to number 2, and they're all relatively the same. So we'll see how, I don't want to say fast, but how efficiently I can take you through all 6. So let's start here with number 1. Okay, so here we are. Like I said, each one of the properties has its own kitchen, its own living space, and actually its own fireplace. So the building is originally from the 1600s, and you can see elements of the historicity of the property just by characteristics like the fireplace, like the very high ceiling with the wooden beams, the reveal bricks. But here obviously it's being used as an agriturismo, and so you don't have the special elements like the high quality cotto floors at the moment, but rather more practical elements. But the home can be united. So where we have 1, 2, 3, 4 units, you can actually put a stairwell here on this property that goes up here and down into the property below. You can take down like this wall. This becomes a full living room. And you open up one of these walls and you have the kitchen on the other side. So this becomes the living space and the downstairs becomes the sleeping area. But for now, let me just show you how everything currently is, because some people, they buy a home and they want to live in it. Other people do want to rent it out. And this is set up to rent out. And so just going to show you how it is. We have beautiful windows looking out into the garden. This is bedroom number 1. Here we have bedroom number 2. And then bathroom. So you can see we have heating on the walls. All of the units have gas-based heating, but they also have air conditioning units, and you can see they're placed here under the windows. come back out. So this is property number one. Each one has their own electricity box. So guys, I also go through the next 5 apartments, but they're basically the same as the first one, and we're already at the 45-minute mark. If you're interested in this home, the others, or interested in working with us to find your own dream home in Italy, write to me at marco@justdreamitaly.com. A huge thanks to my Patreon members. You guys help make this quality of filmmaking possible. I'm slowly renovating a home in Tuscany and sharing the process there. Like, subscribe, comment below, check out our Instagram, and ciao, see you next time.